everyone, I'm super excited to present our next candidate for Project 1000 Higher. Coming all the way from Queens, we got Holly. So first of all, Holly, thank you so much for joining on us on this incredible project.
Yeah, thank you, Ephraim. I'm so excited to be here.
Sure. So Holly, why don't you give us a brief description of who you are and where you're from so we could get to know you better?
Sure. I grew up in Mississippi, and I moved to New York to pursue theater. And my husband and I, my husband's name is Patrick, we live in Queens now, and I actually was doing theater on the side up until the point where I realized I was pregnant. And so now I have a beautiful 5-month-old named Charlie. And so Patrick and Charlie and I have been quarantining at home, and I'll be honest, I've enjoyed spending time with my baby. But you know, it's been a very interesting time, I think, for everybody. But that's a little bit about me. It's me and my Patrick and my Charlie, and we're in Queens.
Wow, that's amazing. So besides Charlie being your best accomplishment to date, right? Why don't you tell us about like a personal project that you're working on and that you've accomplished that you're proud of?
Absolutely. After I was laid off from Casper, I was their workplace experience and facilities manager. I wanted something to like channel all this energy into. And so I started baking, and I've been doing a lot of baking. And then one day I was like, I'm going to record this and put it on YouTube. So now I have a baking channel called Holly K Bakes, and it's been incredible, lots of fun. Although I will say that the COVID-19 quarantine 15 has affected me as it has many others, but especially with all these like sweets around. So I decided I was going to start sharing my baked goods with my next door neighbors. And so I wrote them a letter, and I was like, do you guys feel okay about sharing food? And they're like, yes, give us what you got. So the YouTube channel is Holly K Bakes. There's about 6 or 7 episodes. I try to do one a week and just bake something that either I've never baked before or something that's a favorite. So I highly recommend checking it out. It's definitely a way that you get to know my personality. And also, I'm not a professional baker by any means, so it's mostly comedy and me dropping stuff. But it is a lot of fun, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And it's been a pretty incredible way to spend my free time during this time.
Wow, that's amazing. You never know. That might turn into a business. You might become a baker. Yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't mind. I love to bake.
I'll send you my address afterwards to send the chocolate chip cookies to. You know.
Okay, sounds good.
So why don't we flip the script a little bit and tell us about personal challenge that you've overcome?
Yes. So I suffer from anxiety, and I think that it's important for us to talk more openly about mental health. It's hereditary for me. My mother suffers from anxiety and depression, so I also suffer from it. But one of the things that I've done is really sought out a treatment program. So I have a therapist, which is amazing, and I go to my therapist once a week. It's been so helpful, especially right now when things are so uncertain. I just think that there's such a stigma around talking about the ways that we support ourselves. Like if you break your leg, you're going to the doctor's office. But, you know, if you have a little anxiety, a lot of times people just suffer in silence. And I just don't think that that's the way to go. We should all work to, you know, care for ourselves. And sometimes you have to do what they say on the airplane, which is put your mask on first before you can help others. In the beginning, it was a personal challenge, sort of discovering this thing that I have and that I deal with. But finding the right treatment plan for me has been someone to talk to, and my therapist is amazing. And I highly recommend, if you're ever feeling any sort of way, anxious, depressed, that you reach out to a therapist or to someone who can help you out. I highly recommend it. It's worked wonders for me.
And that's amazing. So, you know, first of all, thank you so much for your honesty and bringing that up, especially now we're in Mental Health Month, you know, which is such an important thing. It's so important. So, Holly, what are you looking for in your next role?
You know, I love this question. I'm a people manager. I want to inspire a team. I want to be able to support vendor relationships. That's what I really love to do. I'm a people person, and being able to inspire not just my team but the vendors to do the work correctly the first time is what I am passionate about. Also, I love to work in multiple locations. I have in the past, when I worked for Burberry, I worked with multiple locations and I did facilities for about 40 of their stores. And so I love the opportunity to get back into that work and be able to support multiple locations, maybe for another retailer. I excel in situations that require creative thinking to solve problems. So definitely, kind of like the baking, that sort of just came out of something that I love to do, and the creativity and figuring out how to make something work, which in baking is very important. Like sometimes it doesn't always work the way you want, but you adjust as you go along to get the final product. And so that's what I want to do in my next role. I want to have these problems to solve and these ways to use my creative abilities to do that. And I would love to work for a company that values clear communication, and especially if they don't take themselves too seriously, but they sort of appreciate a sense of humor, because I definitely have a sense of humor that I like to share with the world. And I could bring, especially the vendor management relationships, managing vendor relationships, and supporting multiple locations. I'd love to bring that to someone's company.
Wow, that's amazing. So first of all, there's no doubt in my mind, obviously, that any company that's going to have the opportunity to have you, you're going to bring that whole entire positive and optimistic attitude and jolly-go-lucky, which is going to be incredible for the workplace experience. So first of all, I want to wish you a ton of success and a lot of luck.
Thank you.
And we're obviously going to do everything in our power to send all the opportunities your way and to help get you to get hired. So first of all, so Holly, thank you so much for joining us on this project.
Thank you so much, Ephraim.